You wake in a world where the poorest man can become the most feared ruler and yet never escape his own hunger. Welcome to the YouTube channel Bedtime Chinese History Stories, where tonight you step into the rise and fall of the Ming Dynasty that lasted nearly 300 years, beginning not in glory, but in ash, hunger, and the sound of distant war drums. Stay with me, because by the end, you will understand why power built on suffering never truly sleeps. The morning air is cold against your skin. It smells of damp earth and burned wood. You stand barefoot on cracked ground, your feet dusted with fine gray ash. Around you, the land is quiet, but not peaceful. The silence feels heavy, as if something has already been lost. A village lies ahead, or what remains of it. Charred beams lean against one another like broken ribs. Roofs have collapsed inward. You step carefully, your soles brushing against splinters and scattered pottery. Somewhere nearby, a child coughs. The sound is thin, dry, and tired. This is the end of an empire you never truly saw. Yet you feel its absence everywhere. The rulers who once held this land have fallen. Their power, once vast, now fades like smoke drifting into a pale sky. But they did not leave quietly. They took the harvest, the grain, the strength of the people until nothing remained but hunger. You feel it now. Your stomach tightens, not from fear, but from emptiness. It has been there for days, maybe longer. Hunger becomes a rhythm, a slow, constant pulse beneath your ribs. You are not alone in this. Men and women move through the ruins like shadows. Their eyes avoid one another. No one speaks loudly. Words have become dangerous. Promises even more so. Then you hear it, not the wind, not the cough of the child. Voices, low at first, then growing, rough, determined, carried by men who have nothing left to lose. You follow the sound, stepping past broken walls and silent doorways. The ground shifts beneath you, dry soil mixed with ash. As you move closer, the air changes. It carries something sharper now. Sweat, steel, resolve. A group has gathered beneath the skeletal remains of a once standing hall. Their clothes are simple, worn thin. Some hold farming tools, others carry crude weapons. Their hands are calloused, their faces hollow, but their eyes burn. At the center stands a man. He is not tall, not richly dressed. His robe hangs loosely, patched in places. His face is lean, shaped by years of hardship. Yet when he speaks, the others listen without interruption. You feel it immediately. He does not speak like a noble. He does not speak like a scholar. His voice is steady, grounded, like the earth beneath your feet. He speaks of hunger, of injustice, of a world turned upside down. He speaks of taking it back. You watch his hands as he gestures. Strong, precise, unafraid. These are not the hands of a man born into power. These are hands that have worked, that have bled, that have survived. His name passes through the crowd in quiet murmurs. Zhu Yuanzhang. You repeat it softly in your mind, as if testing its weight. Around him, the air feels different. The fear that once pressed down on everyone begins to lift, replaced by something unfamiliar. Not hope, not yet, but movement. A man beside you tightens his grip on a wooden staff. Another straightens his back. Someone nods. Small changes, almost invisible. Yet they spread. Zhu Yuanzhang's voice lowers, but it grows sharper. He speaks of order, of rebuilding, of a world where the strong do not devour the weak. But beneath his words you sense something else. Control. He does not simply want to survive. He wants to rule. The sun rises higher now, casting light through the broken beams above. Dust floats in the air, glowing softly. For a moment the ruin around you almost looks beautiful. Almost. You shift your weight, feeling the rough ground beneath your feet. The hunger inside you remains, but now it mixes with something else. A pull. You realize, slowly, that you are standing at the edge of something larger than this ruined village. Larger than the hunger, the ashes, the quiet suffering. This is where it begins, not with a throne, not with gold, but with a man who refuses to bow, and a people who are too tired to remain silent. Zhu Yuanzhang steps forward. The crowd leans in, and without fully deciding, you take one step closer with them. The ground trembles softly beneath your feet as more bodies press inward. The circle tightens, breath mingles with breath. You can smell sweat, earth, and something sharper now, like iron waiting to be used. Zhu Yuanzhang does not raise his voice again. He does not need to. Instead, he steps down from the broken stone and walks among the people, close. Close enough that you see the lines on his face, the quiet calculation in his eyes. He studies each person, not as a stranger, but as if weighing their worth. When he passes you, his gaze lingers for a moment. You feel it. Not warmth, not kindness, recognition, as if he already knows what hunger has done to you. He moves on, but something inside you shifts. The air feels tighter, heavier. The murmurs begin again, but now they carry shape, plans, directions, names of nearby towns, whispers of grain stores, guarded roads, weak officials. This is no longer just anger. This is movement becoming purpose. A man hands you a length of wood, rough, uneven, hastily cut. You run your fingers along its surface, feeling splinters catch against your skin. It is not a weapon yet, but it will be. Around you, others receive the same. Some grip tightly, eager. Others hesitate, their hands trembling. No one refuses. Zhu Yuanzhang returns to the center. The light has changed. The sun now stands higher, casting shorter shadows. The warmth touches your shoulders, but it does not soften the tension. He speaks again, slower this time, not of dreams, of steps. You will move at dusk, you will take what has been taken, you will not scatter, you will not betray. Each word lands like a stone. You begin to understand. This is not chaos. This is control shaped from suffering. A woman nearby tightens a cloth around her wrist. A boy, no older than 10, watches with wide eyes, clutching a tool too large for his hands. No one sends him away. There is no one left to protect him. The group begins to divide. Small clusters form, each guided by a voice that carries quiet authority. You are pulled into one without being asked. A man nods to you once, then turns, expecting you to follow, and you do. The ruined village fades behind you as you move along a narrow dirt path. Dry grass brushes against your legs. The wind carries distant sounds, not birds, not laughter. Movement, other groups, other voices, all converging towards something unseen. Your feet grow heavier with each step, yet you do not stop. The hunger inside you no longer feels empty. It feels directed. Ahead, the land opens into fields that have not been harvested. Crops stand dry and neglected, swaying gently. You can almost taste them. Grain that should have fed families now waits, guarded by men who serve a broken order. Your group slows. The man leading raises his hand. Everyone stops. Silence returns, but it is different now. It is sharp, focused. You crouch slightly, feeling the rough soil press against your bare feet. Your grip tightens around the wooden staff. Your breath becomes shallow. From beyond the field you hear voices. Laughter, careless, unaware. Zhu Yuanzhang's words echo in your mind. Not loudly, just enough. Take it back. The man ahead gestures, slow, precise. You move forward, step by step, the dry stalks brushing against your legs, whispering as you pass. Each sound feels too loud, yet no one turns closer now. You see them. Guards, relaxed, leaning against their spears. One bends to pick up something from the ground. Another turns his back. For a moment, everything pauses. The wind stops. Your breath holds. Then movement. It begins not with a shout, but with a surge. Bodies rising from the field like shadows given form. You move with them before your mind can catch up. Your feet strike the ground harder now. The staff in your hands no longer feels like wood. It feels necessary. The first cry breaks the silence. Then another. Then many. The guards turn. Too late. You do not think. You do not plan. You act. The world narrows to sound and motion. The crack of wood against bone. The sharp intake of breath. The rustle of dry crops crushed underfoot. When it ends quickly. Too quickly. Silence returns again. But it is no longer the same silence you knew this morning. It is heavier. You stand still, your chest rising and falling. The staff in your hands is no longer clean. You look down at it, then away. Around you, others gather the grain. Fast, efficient, no celebration, no hesitation. Zhu Yuanzhang was right. This is only the beginning. As the sun continues its climb, you feel it clearly now. You have crossed something that cannot be undone. And somewhere beyond these fields, greater forces are already beginning to stir. The grain sacks grow heavier with every handful you gather, yet no one slows down. Hands move quickly, almost without thought. The dry kernels spill between your fingers, rough and real, proof that something has finally been taken back. But the air has changed. It no longer feels like desperation, it feels like consequence. A man nearby wipes his hands on his clothes, leaving dark stains behind. He does not look at them. No one does. Instead, they lift the sacks, tie them tightly, and prepare to move again. The leader of your group gestures sharply. No voices, only motion you follow. The path shifts as you leave the open field. The dry stalks give way to harder ground, scattered with stones. Your feet ache now, each step pressing into bruised skin, yet you keep moving. The weight on your shoulder pulls downward, steady and demanding. Behind you, nothing is left untouched. Ahead, everything feels uncertain. The sun climbs higher, and the heat begins to settle over your back. Sweat forms along your neck, sliding slowly down your spine. You adjust the sack, tightening your grip, forcing your body to keep pace with the others. No one speaks, but you hear everything. The rustle of grain shifting in cloth, the soft grind of footsteps, the distant echo of other groups moving across the land, all guided by the same unseen force. Zhu Yuanzhang, his presence lingers, even when he is not near. You begin to understand that this was not a single act, it was a signal. As you move along a narrow ridge, the land opens again. This time, it is not empty. Smoke rises in the distance, thin lines drifting upward into the bright sky. Not destruction, cooking fires, life. Your group slows once more. A figure stands ahead, waiting. He is older, his posture slightly bent, but his eyes are sharp. He counts the sacks as you approach, his gaze quick and exact. When he nods, others step forward to take the grain. No thanks, no celebration, only order. You release your grip as the weight leaves your shoulder. Your arms feel lighter, yet strangely hollow, as if they have lost something more than just the burden. The older man speaks quietly to your group leader. You cannot hear the words, but you see the shift, a change in direction, a change in purpose. You are not returning to the village, you are moving forward again. Your group turns, following a new path that cuts through a line of low trees. Their branches cast thin shadows across the ground, offering brief moments of shade. You pass beneath them, feeling the cool air brush against your face. For a moment it feels almost peaceful, then you hear it. Distant, but growing, the sound of hooves. You freeze. So does everyone else. The leader raises his hand, and the group drops low, crouching among the trees. You press yourself close to the earth, feeling its dry warmth against your skin. Your breath slows, shallow and controlled. The sound grows louder. Rhythmic, heavy soldiers. You do not need to see them to know, but you do. Through the gaps in the trees, figures pass along the ridge above, mounted, armed. Their armor catches the sunlight, flashing briefly with each movement. They ride with confidence, unaware of what has already begun beneath them. You watch their faces as they pass, relaxed, certain. They do not see you. They do not see any of this. Not yet. The ground trembles slightly as they move away. The sound of hooves fades, slowly dissolving into the distance. No one moves until it is completely gone. Then, the leader lowers his hand. You rise again, your body tense, your senses sharper than before. Now you understand something deeper. This is not just hunger against hunger. This is a quiet war, still hidden, still unnoticed by those who believe they control the land. But they are wrong, because the people they overlooked are no longer waiting. You continue forward, deeper into the trees, where the light begins to soften. The sun has started its slow descent. Though the day is far from over, your steps feel different now, more certain, more dangerous. You are no longer just following, you are becoming part of something that moves without being seen, strikes without warning, and grows with every step taken. And somewhere ahead, beyond the trees and the rising heat of the afternoon, Zhu Yuanzhang is already preparing the next move. You feel it. The pace is changing, and whatever comes next will not be as quiet. The trees thin out as you move forward, and the light sharpens again. The air grows warmer, pressing gently against your skin. Each breath feels heavier now, filled with dust and the faint scent of smoke drifting from somewhere unseen. Your group does not slow. If anything, the pace becomes more urgent. The man leading you glances back once, his eyes scanning each face. Not to check fear, not to offer comfort, only to measure readiness. You keep walking. The ground begins to slope downward, leading into a narrow valley. Dry earth cracks beneath your feet, and small stones roll with each step. The sound echoes softly, yet no one speaks. Then you hear it. Not hooves this time. Voices. Many voices. Your group stops at the edge of the slope. You lower yourself slightly, peering down below. A gathering spreads across the valley floor. Dozens. No more. Groups like yours arrive from different directions, each carrying something. Grain, tools, weapons made from whatever could be found. The air is alive with motion, but still controlled. No shouting, no chaos. This is no accident. This is design. You descend slowly, joining the flow. As your feet reach the valley floor, you feel it immediately. The energy is different here, stronger, focused. At the center stands Zhu Yuanzhang. He does not stand above them. He stands among them, but somehow he still rises higher. His presence holds the space together. Every movement around him seems to bend toward his will. Men approach, speak briefly, then move away with purpose. Women distribute grain with careful hands. Fires are being prepared, but not yet lit. You step closer, drawn in without thinking. His voice reaches you, low but clear. He is not speaking of what has been done. He is speaking of what comes next. Nearby towns, weak defenses, officials who still believe they are safe. He speaks of timing, of patience, of striking not in anger, but in certainty. You feel a shift inside you. This is no longer survival. This is strategy. A man beside you exhales slowly, as if releasing something he has carried for years. Another adjusts the grip on his weapon, his hands steady now. Zhu Yuanzhang turns slightly, and for a moment, his eyes sweep across the crowd. You feel it again. That same quiet recognition. But now, it is deeper, as if he is no longer looking at individuals. He is looking at something he is building. The sun begins to tilt westward. The light softens, stretching shadows across the valley. The heat fades slightly, replaced by a faint breeze that carries the scent of dry grass and distant water. Time is moving, and so are you. Tasks begin to form. You are guided to a group assigned to move ahead of the others. Scouts, quiet, observant. The man who leads you speaks only once. Watch, listen, return. Nothing more. You nod, though no one asked you to. The group breaks away from the main gathering, slipping toward the edge of the valley. You glance back once. Zhu Yuanzhang remains at the center, surrounded yet alone. His figure is still, but everything around him continues to move. You turn forward again. The land ahead rises gently, leading toward a distant cluster of buildings, small, scattered, a settlement. You move carefully now, each step placed with intention. The sounds of the valley fade behind you, replaced by a quieter world. The wind brushes through low grass. Insects hum faintly. Somewhere, a loose shutter taps against wood. You crouch as you approach the edge of the settlement. From your position, you can see everything. A few guards, fewer than before. People moving slowly, unaware. Smoke rising from simple fires. Normal life. It feels almost unreal. After everything you have seen, this calm feels fragile, temporary. The man beside you signals for stillness. You remain low, your body pressed close to the ground. Your eyes move, counting, measuring, remembering. This is what Zhu Yuanzhang meant. Not rushing, not wasting strength. You stay there for a long time. The sun lowers further, casting golden light across the rooftops. Shadows stretch long and thin. The guards grow more relaxed as the day fades. You begin to understand the pattern, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The weakness, the blind spots, the rhythm of those who believe nothing will change. The signal comes quietly. Time to return. You pull back slowly, retracing your steps, carrying not grain this time, but knowledge. Each detail settles into your mind, sharp and clear. As you re-enter the valley, the light has shifted again. The sky deepens in color. The air cools. Fires are now lit, low, controlled. The people gather once more, and at the center, Zhu Yuanzhang's waits. You realize something as you step closer. The next move is no longer a question. It is already decided. And when it begins, it will not feel like a raid. It will feel like the start of something far larger than any of you can yet see. The sky deepens into a warm shade of gold, and the air begins to cool against your skin. The valley no longer feels like a gathering place. It feels like a held breath. You stand among the others, watching the fires flicker low and steady. No one wastes fuel. No flame rises too high. Even light is controlled here. Zhu Yuanzhang steps forward. He does not rush. He never rushes. The circle tightens around him. But there is no pushing, no noise, only attention. You feel it in your chest. The way every person leans in without moving their feet. He begins to speak. Not loudly, but every word reaches you. He describes the settlement you just left. The guards, their patterns, the moments when they grow careless, the way they trust the coming night. Your breath slows as you listen. He already knows. Everything you saw, everything you noticed, it lives in his voice now, shaped into something sharper, something final. He is not asking, he is deciding. The plan unfolds in calm, measured steps. Groups will move from 3 sides. No shouting, no fire until the signal. Take control before fear spreads. Each instruction settles into the crowd like stones placed in still water. No one questions him. You feel a strange clarity rising inside you. Not excitement, not fear. Focus, the kind that leaves no room for doubt. A man beside you adjusts a strip of cloth around his hand, wrapping it tighter. Another checks the edge of a blade, running his thumb along it without flinching. You tighten your grip on the wooden staff. It feels different now, more familiar, more certain. Zhu Yuanzhang raises his hand, and the valley moves, not all at once, but in waves. Groups peel away, silent and steady, disappearing into the dimming light. You are carried with one of them, your feet already moving before your thoughts catch up. The path feels shorter this time, or maybe you no longer notice the distance. The land darkens as the sun sinks lower. Shadows stretch long, merging into one another. The world becomes quieter, but not empty. Alive, watching, you approach the settlement again, but from a different side. The wind shifts, carrying the smell of cooking fires and warm grain. It feels almost peaceful. You crouch low, hidden behind a line of uneven stone. From here you can see the same guards, but now you see more. The small pauses, the moments when their attention drifts, the way they turn their backs without thinking. You understand now. This is not luck. This is pattern. The man leading your group raises 2 fingers. Wait. Time slows. Your heartbeat becomes louder than anything else. You feel it in your throat, in your ears, in your hands. The wood of your staff presses into your palm, grounding you. Across the settlement, you catch movement. Other groups, barely visible, positioning. The sun slips lower. The light fades. Then it happens. A small sound, not loud, not sharp, but enough the signal. Everything moves at once. You rise from the ground, your body already in motion. There is no hesitation, no second thought. The distance between you and the first guard closes quickly. Too quickly for him. He turns, confusion flickering across his face. But it is already too late. The staff in your hands moves without thought. The impact travels up your arms, sharp and real. The guard falls. You do not look down. You cannot. Around you, the silence breaks, but only slightly. No wild shouting. Only short, controlled sounds. The clash of wood, the dull thud of bodies hitting the ground. Quick breaths, quick steps. The settlement begins to shift. People inside notice. Some freeze, some try to run. But the movement is already contained. Paths are blocked, doors are held. This is not chaos, this is precision. You move forward, deeper into the narrow paths between the buildings. Your feet strike packed earth, steady and fast. A shadow appears in front of you. You react before you think. The staff rises, falls. Another body, another breath. You feel no triumph, only momentum. Within moments, it begins to end. The resistance fades. The guards are gone. The movement slows. The sharp edge of action softens into something heavier. Control. You stand still, your chest rising and falling, the world slowly returning to sound. Crackling fire, soft voices, footsteps shifting into order once more. Behind you, more people enter the settlement. They move differently. Not as attackers, as owners. Grain is gathered. Supplies are counted. Positions are taken. Zhu Yuanzhang arrives last. He walks through the center, his gaze sweeping across everything, not searching, confirming. You watch him closely. He does not smile, he does not praise. He only nods once, and somehow that is enough. Because in that single motion, you understand. This was never just about taking food. This is how power begins. Quietly, carefully, step by step, and as the last light of the day slips away, you realize something deeper. This is only the first true victory, and victories like this do not stay small for long. Night settles slowly, like a heavy cloth laid across the land. The last light fades from the rooftops, leaving only the glow of controlled fires and the faint shimmer of embers drifting in the air. You stand within the captured settlement, but it no longer feels like a place that belongs to others. It has already changed. The movement around you is calm, deliberate. People carry grain into storage. Others secure doors, reinforce weak walls, and take positions at every entrance. No one wastes energy. No one celebrates. Victory is treated like a task, not a reward. You notice it clearly now. This is how Zhu Yuanzhang builds power. Not with noise, with order. He walks past you again, slower this time. The firelight flickers across his face, casting shifting shadows that make his expression hard to read. His eyes move across every detail, the placement of guards, the direction of movement, the rhythm of the people. Nothing escapes him. You follow his gaze, trying to see what he sees, and slowly you begin to. This settlement is not the end. It is a piece, a foothold. A point from which something larger will grow. A voice calls softly from the edge of the settlement. You turn. A small group has returned from another direction, carrying more than grain this time. Weapons, real ones, spears, blades, armor taken from those who once believed they were untouchable. They lay them out carefully, not in a pile, but in rows, counted, assigned. You step closer, watching as hands reach forward, selecting tools with quiet intention. A man lifts a spear, testing its balance. A woman runs her fingers along the edge of a blade, her face steady. When your turn comes, you hesitate for only a moment. Then you set the wooden staff down. Your hand closes around a weapon that feels colder, heavier, more precise. It changes the way you stand, the way you breathe. Nearby, a small fire crackles softly. A pot hangs above it, and the smell of cooking grain fills the air. It is simple, but it is enough. People gather in small groups, eating in silence. You take a portion, warm, rough, real. Each bite settles deep inside you, easing the sharp edge of hunger that has followed you all day. But it does not bring comfort, only strength. Across the settlement, Zhu Yuanzhang stands with a few others. They speak in low tones, their faces lit by firelight. You cannot hear the words, but you see the gestures. Lines drawn in the dirt, points marked, paths traced. This is not rest. This is planning. The night deepens. The sky above turns dark, scattered with faint stars. The air cools further, brushing against your skin, carrying the quiet sounds of a land that has not yet realized it is changing. A guard position is assigned to you. You move to the edge of the settlement, standing where the darkness begins to swallow the land beyond. Your grip tightens around the weapon in your hands. It feels natural now. Necessary. You listen. The wind moves softly through the fields. Insects hum in the distance. Far away you hear something faint. Movement, not close, but not as far as it should be. You remain still, your eyes scanning the darkness. This is the difference now. Before, you were part of something hidden. Now, you are holding something that must be protected. Time stretches. Moments pass slowly, measured by breath and heartbeat. Then behind you, a soft step. You turn slightly. Zhu Yuanzhang stands there, closer than before. He says nothing at first. His gaze follows yours into the darkness, as if he can see beyond what the night allows. Then he speaks quietly. Not a command, a statement. This is only the beginning. His voice carries no pride, no doubt, only certainty. You feel it settle into you, deeper than any hunger ever did. He turns and walks away, leaving you at the edge of the night. You face forward again. The darkness no longer feels empty. It feels full of paths not yet taken, battles not yet fought, cities not yet claimed. And somewhere beyond that darkness, forces are already moving in response. Because what has begun here cannot remain unseen for long. You tighten your grip, your senses sharpened by the cold air and the quiet weight of what is coming. The night holds steady, but beneath it, something is growing. And by the time the next dawn arrives, the world around you will no longer be the same. The darkness does not break all at once. It thins, slowly. A faint gray seeps into the edge of the sky, barely visible at first. The stars begin to fade one by one, as if retreating from something that is about to rise. You are still standing where the night left you. Your hands remain firm around the weapon. Your body is stiff, not from fear, but from stillness. Hours have passed, yet they feel like a single stretched moment. The air is colder now. It settles into your skin, into your bones. Each breath leaves your mouth in a faint cloud, quickly swallowed by the dim light of early morning. Behind you, the settlement remains quiet, not asleep, waiting. You hear movement before you see it. Soft steps, low voices, controlled. The others are already awake, or perhaps they never truly rested. You shift slightly, rolling your shoulders, feeling the stiffness loosen just enough to move again. The ground beneath your feet is cool, firm, unchanged, but everything else is different. The horizon begins to glow faintly, and with it, something inside the settlement begins to rise. You turn. People move with purpose. Not rushed, not frantic. Measured. The same rhythm from the night carries into the morning. Fires are rekindled, but kept low. Tools are checked. Weapons are adjusted. You step away from your position, drawn toward the center. Zhu Yuanzhang stands where the ground is most open. He has not changed, or perhaps he has. In the early light, his figure seems sharper, more defined. The softness of firelight is gone, replaced by the clarity of dawn. Every line of his face is visible now, and there is no hesitation in it. A group gathers around him, not as many as before. Only those who will move next. You join them without being called. He speaks, short sentences, clear direction, no wasted words. The settlement you took is secure. It will hold. Others will remain behind to guard it, to build from it, to turn it into something stronger. But you will not stay. Your path continues. He points toward the horizon, where the faint light reveals a distant road cutting across the land. Trade passes there. Supplies move along it. Guards follow predictable routes, trusting in distance and routine. That trust will be broken. You feel the plan settle into place, simple and precise. Intercept. Take, disrupt, then disappear. The group begins to move before the sun fully rises. You follow, stepping beyond the edge of the settlement, leaving behind the place that already feels smaller than it did in the night. The land stretches wide before you. Open, quiet, but no longer untouched. The light grows stronger with each step. Colors return to the world. Dry grass glows pale gold. The earth shifts from gray to brown. Shadows shrink and sharpen. You walk in silence. The rhythm is steady now. Your body no longer resists it. Each step feels natural, expected, part of something that no longer needs to be explained. Ahead, the road becomes clearer, a thin line cutting across the land, worn smooth by years of passing feet, wheels and hooves. You lower yourself as the group approaches, taking position along a slight rise that overlooks the path. From here you can see far. The road is empty. For now you wait. The sun rises higher, warming the air. The cold fades, replaced by a gentle heat that settles on your skin. Time stretches again, but this time it does not feel uncertain. It feels controlled. Then, in the distance, you see it. Movement, slow at first, then clearer. A line of figures approaches along the road, carts pulled by animals, guards walking alongside, their posture relaxed, their attention drifting with the monotony of the journey. You study them, counting, measuring, the same way you did before. But now it feels easier. You understand the rhythm of this world, and more importantly, you understand how to break it. The man beside you glances toward the others. A silent signal passes between them. Not yet. Wait. The carts move closer. The sound of wheels grinding against dirt reaches you. The soft clink of metal, the low voices of men who believe this is just another day. You feel your grip tighten, your breath slows, your body lowers. Ready. This moment feels different from the last. Not because it is new, but because it is becoming familiar. That realization settles deep within you, and it changes something. The signal comes. You rise. And as you step forward toward the road, you understand that this path you have entered does not lead back. It only moves forward, and with each step, it grows harder to stop. You step onto the road, and the world tightens again. The dust rises beneath your feet, soft and dry, carrying the faint smell of earth and old tracks. The carts are closer now. You can hear the creak of wooden wheels, the slow breath of the animals pulling them, the quiet, careless voices of the men who guard them. They still do not see you. Not yet. Your body moves with the others, low and fast. The distance closes quickly. Every step feels guided, as if the ground itself knows where you must go. A guard turns his head, too late. You surge forward, the weapon in your hands no longer unfamiliar. It moves as part of you. The first impact is sharp, controlled. The man stumbles, his voice cut short before it can rise. Around you, the same motion unfolds. No chaos, only speed. The carts halt abruptly. Animals shift, confused, pulling against their harnesses. The guards try to react, but their movements are slow, scattered, unprepared for what arrives from all sides at once. You do not stop. You move past the first, toward the next. Your breath is steady, your vision narrow. The world becomes a series of small, clear moments, a raised arm, a missed step, the angle of a strike. It ends faster than it begins. The road falls silent again, broken only by the restless movement of the animals and the fading echoes of what just happened. You stand still. The dust settles slowly around you. Your chest rises and falls, but there is no rush in it, no trembling, only a steady return to stillness. The others move immediately. Carts are pulled aside, covers are lifted. Inside, you see what was being carried. Grain, cloth, metal tools, more than enough to feed, to build, to strengthen. Hands reach in, sorting, counting, deciding. Nothing is taken blindly. Everything has purpose. You move closer, placing your hands on the rough wood of a cart. It feels solid, real. Not like the broken things you have known before. This is different. This is supply. This is growth. A man beside you cuts the harness free, leading one of the animals away. Another group begins turning the carts, redirecting them off the main road. The path you came from disappears behind you. There is no trace of hesitation. This is no longer an act of taking. It is a system. You hear a soft whistle, a signal. Time to move again. The group shifts quickly, guiding the carts away from the open road and into a narrow path that cuts through low ground. The land dips slightly, hiding you from distant view. The movement is smooth, practiced, almost silent. Despite the weight you carry with you, you walk beside one of the carts, your hand resting against its side. The wood vibrates slightly with each turn of the wheels. The sound is steady, grounding. Above, the sun continues to rise. The light grows stronger, harsher. Shadows shorten. The world becomes clearer, sharper, less forgiving. And with that clarity, something else becomes visible. In the distance, far along the road you left behind, faint shapes appear. More riders, moving fast. You feel it immediately. The response has begun. The man leading your group glances back, his eyes narrowing. He does not stop. He does not panic. He simply raises his hand. The pace increases. The carts move faster, guided with urgency but without disorder. Every step now carries weight. Every second matters. You push forward, your body adjusting to the strain. The ground beneath your feet shifts from soft dust to firmer soil. The path curves, narrowing further, pulling you deeper into the land where visibility fades. Behind you, the distant shapes grow slightly clearer. They have seen something, maybe not everything, but enough. You do not look back again. There is no need, you already understand. This is the moment when quiet action becomes open conflict. The moment when those who believed they held control begin to feel it slipping. You grip the side of the cart tighter, feeling the rough texture press into your palm. Your breath remains steady, but your senses sharpen even more. The air feels heavier now, charged, alive. Ahead, the path begins to rise again, leading toward higher ground. Trees appear in the distance, offering cover, concealment, safety, or at least something close to it. You move toward them without slowing, because now there is no turning back. Only movement, only expansion, only the next step in something that is no longer small, no longer hidden, and as the sound of distant riders grows faintly louder behind you, you realize something with quiet certainty. What began as hunger has become a force, and that force is starting to be seen. The incline grows steeper. As you push forward, your legs tightening with each step. The cart beside you creaks under its weight, the wheels grinding against the uneven ground. Your hand stays firm against the wood, steadying it, guiding it upward. The trees ahead draw closer, dark shapes against the bright sky. Shelter. You reach them just as the first sound breaks behind you. Not distant anymore. Closer, sharper. The pounding of hooves cuts through the air, no longer softened by distance. It reaches into your chest, into your bones. Demanding attention, they are coming. You do not need to turn to know. The group moves faster, pulling the carts into the cover of the trees. Branches brush against your shoulders as you pass beneath them. Leaves rustle softly, masking your movement, swallowing the noise. For a moment, you are hidden, but not safe. The man leading raises his hand again. Stop. The carts are pulled into a narrow clearing, surrounded by thick trunks and low brush. The path behind you bends sharply, limiting the view from the road below. You gather close, no panic, only decision. Some begin unloading quickly, taking what can be carried. Others position themselves along the edges of the clearing, weapons ready, eyes fixed on the direction of the sound. You feel the shift. This is different from before. There is no surprise here. No advantage of silence. This time they know something is wrong, and they are coming to correct it. You take your place beside a tree, your back pressed against its rough bark. The texture scratches lightly through your clothing, grounding you. Your grip tightens around your weapon. Your breath slows. You listen. The hooves grow louder, closer. Then, through the trees, you see them, figures on horseback, moving along the road below. Their posture is no longer relaxed. Their heads turn, scanning. Their formation tightens. They have seen the tracks, the disturbed earth, the missing carts. They stop. For a moment, everything holds. The riders dismount, moving with purpose. Now they spread out, stepping off the road, following the signs left behind. Toward you. You feel your heartbeat, steady but heavy, not racing, not wild. Measured, the man beside you shifts slightly, adjusting his stance. Another lowers his body closer to the ground, preparing for the moment when stillness breaks. You glance toward the others. No one speaks, but everyone understands. This is no longer hidden. This is confrontation. The first rider appears between the trees, pushing through the brush. His eyes scan quickly, sharp, alert. He sees the broken branches, the marks in the soil. Then he looks up and sees you. The moment stretches, then shatters. You move, not forward, not recklessly, but with controlled force. The weapon in your hands rises, then falls. The sound is sharp, brief. The rider collapses before he can call out, but the others hear. Voices rise now, louder than before. Orders, shouts. The quiet of your movement breaks apart under the weight of open conflict. More figures push through the trees. You step back, adjusting your position, keeping the trunk between you and the next attacker. The ground shifts beneath your feet, uneven, covered in roots and fallen leaves. The air fills with motion. Blades flash, branches snap, breath turns heavy. This is not like before. There is resistance now, real. You feel it in every movement, every step. The balance shifts back and forth, uncertain, dangerous. A rider lunges toward you. You turn, the motion instinctive now. Your weapon meets his, the impact sending a sharp vibration through your arms. You push forward, forcing him off balance, then strike again. He falls, but there is no pause. Another moves in. You adjust, step, strike. The world narrows again, but this time it is louder, heavier. The quiet control you held before strains under the pressure. Then slowly it begins to change. The riders falter. Their movements lose rhythm. Their formation breaks. They are not prepared for this kind of fight. Not here, not like this. Your group presses forward, not wildly, but steadily, reclaiming control piece by piece. The noise begins to fade. The resistance weakens. And then it ends. The clearing returns to stillness, but it is not the same stillness as before. The air feels thick, charged with what just passed. You stand where you are, your chest rising slowly, your grip still firm. Around you, others begin to move again, checking, gathering, resetting. The carts remain, the supplies remain, and so do you. But something has changed. You feel it clearly now. This is no longer a hidden force moving beneath the surface. This has been seen, felt, resisted, and still it continues. You look toward the edge of the trees, where the light breaks through again, leading back to the open land. Beyond that, more roads, more settlements, more forces that will now begin to react. You tighten your grip once more, because you understand now, this path will only grow harder, and what comes next will not be smaller. It will be larger, louder, and impossible to ignore. The clearing does not return to calm. It settles into something heavier. The air feels thick, carrying the scent of disturbed earth and broken branches. The trees stand silent around you, but the silence no longer hides anything. It holds what has just happened. You loosen your grip slightly, then tighten it again without thinking. Your body has learned this rhythm. Around you, the others move with quiet efficiency. No one lingers. No one looks back for long. What needs to be done is done quickly. Weapons are checked. Positions are reset. The carts are pulled deeper into the trees. You step forward, helping guide one of them over uneven ground. The wheels catch briefly on a root, then roll free with a dull crack of wood. Your hands press firmly, steady, controlled. The group regathers, fewer voices now, not because there is loss alone, but because the weight of what is happening has deepened. Zhu Yuanzhang arrives soon after. He does not rush. He walks through the clearing, his eyes moving from one point to another. The fallen, the living, the supplies, the positions of the trees. He sees everything. You watch him closely. There is no anger in his face, no surprise, only calculation. He kneels briefly, pressing his fingers into the soil where the riders came through. He studies the marks left behind, the direction they followed, the speed they carried. Then he rises and speaks. His voice is calm, but it carries further. Now they will send more. Not a guess, a certainty. The road is no longer safe for them, which means it is no longer safe for you either. The words settle into the group, not as fear, as adjustment. Plans change, paths shift. He gives instructions quickly. Some will take the carts along a hidden route, deeper into the land where the ground breaks into smaller paths. Others will move separately, spreading out, making it harder to track, harder to surround. You are placed with the moving group, the one that does not stop. You begin again. The trees close around you as you move deeper. The light above fades, filtered through branches and leaves. The air cools slightly, damp with the scent of shaded earth. The path becomes uneven, narrow at times barely visible, but you follow. Step by step the carts move slower now, but they do not stop. Hands guide them over rocks, around roots, through spaces that seem too tight, yet somehow allow passage. You feel the strain in your arms, in your shoulders, but you do not slow, because something else is pushing you forward now. Not hunger, not fear, momentum. Behind you, the world you knew this morning feels distant. Ahead, the path grows more complex, and so does everything around you. Time passes. The sun moves higher, then begins its slow descent again. The light shifts, turning warmer, softer, casting long shadows through the trees. You emerge from the thicker forest into a wider stretch of land. Rolling ground, low hills, farther visibility. The group pauses briefly, not to rest, to look. From here you can see more than before. In the distance, faint lines of movement cut across the land. Not close enough to threaten yet, but close enough to matter. More forces, more response. The ripple has spread. Zhu Yuanzhang stands beside you. He does not speak immediately. He watches the same way you do. Then he speaks, quietly. This is how it grows. Not fast, not all at once, but step by step until it cannot be contained. You feel those words settle deep inside you, because you see it now. This is no longer a series of actions. It is becoming something larger, a force that stretches beyond a single road, a single settlement, a single fight. It is expanding, and with that expansion comes something else. Resistance. You turn your gaze back toward the land ahead, toward the paths that have not yet been taken, toward the places that have not yet been touched. Your grip tightens again, because you understand now. The next step will not be easier. It will be heavier, more visible, more dangerous, and as the light of the day begins to soften once more, you feel it clearly. You are no longer part of something that can remain unseen. You are part of something that is beginning to reshape the world around it. And the world will not remain still in response. It will push back, harder, stronger. Soon, very soon, the light begins to fade again. Not suddenly, slowly, like a breath leaving the world. The sky softens into deeper shades, the gold turning to amber, then to a dim, quiet gray. Shadows stretch across the rolling land, long and thin, merging into one another until the ground itself seems to blur. You stand on the rise, looking out. The carts rest behind you, the group spread in careful positions, watching, waiting, adjusting. No one speaks unless needed. No movement is wasted. Everything feels settled, not calm, but certain. You feel it in your chest, in the steady rhythm of your breath. The sharp edge of urgency from earlier has softened, replaced by something heavier. Understanding. Zhu Yuanzhang remains beside you. He does not look at you. He looks outward at the land, at the distant movement that continues, faint but persistent. Lines of response stretching across the horizon, searching, reacting, trying to contain what has already begun. But it is too late. You see it now. What started as scattered acts has become something connected. What was once hidden is now visible. What was once small is now growing. You shift your weight slightly, feeling the ground beneath your feet. It is firm, real, unchanging, but everything above it is different. Zhu Yuanzhang speaks again, his voice low, carried by the cooling air. This is how a dynasty begins, not with a crown, not with a palace, but with control over land, over movement, over people. You listen closely, because you understand what he is saying without him needing to explain further. Each step you have taken, each village, each road, each supply, it is not random, it is foundation. The sun slips lower, the first stars begin to appear again, faint at first, then clearer as the sky darkens. The cycle returns, but you are no longer the same as you were at the last night. You feel it. You are no longer just surviving. You are building. Around you, the group settles into position for the coming night. Guards take their places. Supplies are arranged. Paths are marked. Everything moves with quiet intention. No chaos. No doubt you take your place once more at the edge, where the land falls away into shadow. The wind brushes softly against your face. Cooler now, carrying the distant sounds of a world that has begun to shift. You close your eyes for a moment, not to rest, to feel. The hunger that once drove you is still there, but it has changed. It no longer feels empty. It feels directed, shaped, given purpose. You open your eyes again. The darkness ahead no longer feels unknown. It feels like a path, and you are already walking it. Zhu Yuanzhang steps away, moving through the group, his presence steady, unshaken. You watch him go, understanding now that his strength is not in force alone. It is in patience, in control, in the ability to see further than anyone else. You look out once more across the land. You imagine what will come. Cities rising, walls built, orders given, fear spreading. Power taking form, all from these quiet steps, from this single day that began in ash and hunger. The night deepens fully now, the world grows still again, but beneath that stillness, something moves, something that will not stop. And you are part of it. You take a slow breath, steady and calm, because now you understand. This is not the end of a story. It is the beginning of one that will stretch far beyond this moment, far beyond this land, far beyond you. Thank you for walking this path, for standing in this moment, and for seeing how it all begins. If you felt this journey, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel Bedtime Chinese History Stories, so you can continue exploring the stories that shape our world.